Okay, so the first bit of movement we're going to go through is called the cat camel. This is going to help us just get our spine moving. We're going to go through flexion and extension. So we're going to go to hands and knees position. We're going to start off going in flexion, getting our shoulders as round as we can, getting our upper back as domed as we can in this position. And we're going to go in the opposite direction as well, just like so. So from the side, it looks a little bit more like this. I'm going to get as round as I can with my upper back. I'm going to make sure my shoulders don't spill forward over my upper back. I'm going to make sure that my back gets nice and wide, and I'm tucking my bum underneath me, sad dog style. And then I'm going to go the other direction, make sure my chest is nice and proud, sticking my bum out, and getting as extended as I can. So again, going back into flexion, pushing the ground away, tucking my bum underneath me, and then going into extension as round as we can, or sorry, as extended as we can here through our back. From this position, after we go through 10 repetitions of that, we're going to stay on our hands and knees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach through as far down towards the ground as I can without bending my arm, just reaching through. Imagine that there's a post going through the top of my head and out of my tailbone. I'm going to reach through, taking a deep breath here, rotate, breathe out, up towards the ceiling. I'm going to do 5 repetitions like that on each side. So how that looks from this position is just like so. I'm not going to be bending my elbow or bending my torso. I'm going to stay nice and strict with my rotation. Deep breath in here. Breathe out. And as I breathe out and reach towards the ceiling, I'm actually pushing this hand into the ground and away to try and help me torque and rotate up towards the ceiling. And the other side, same thing. So we do 5 on the left, we do 5 on the right, taking a deep breath, breathe out. Deep breath in here, reaching for the ground. 1 more. And 5. Awesome. From there, we're going to work on our hips, and we're going to also work on our low back a little bit here as well, okay? So generally, if we're feeling more tension through our low back, that means our hips aren't as happy as they should be. Our hip joints are the joints that rotate. So if we don't have a lot of hip mobility, then we start to look for mobility in other joints like our low back, which is not mechanically favorable for us. So we're gonna go into what's called a half kneeling position or a proposal position. So I'm gonna be 1 knee up, 1 knee down. I'm gonna have the knee that's up be right in line with my lead hip. So it's gonna look like this. And it's gonna be the same thing for my base leg as well. As I'm in this position, I'm gonna be on the toes of my back foot, but I'm also gonna be extending this hip as much as I can here, okay? From here, I'm gonna brace my core nice and strong as if I'm about to get punched in the stomach. So I wanna keep that tight so I don't feel that punch. From here, I'm gonna take in a deep breath, and I'm gonna breathe out and push my torso forward, making sure I'm not extending through my low back, but actually pushing my hip forward here. If you wanna work on a little bit more balance or have a bit more balance with this, you can actually grab onto your lead leg and push it as far forward as you can over your foot as well, just like so. And then come back. So what I want to avoid is where I'm extending through this. If I keep my core nice and tight, I'll be able to get more of a stretch, not only through my quad, but also feel to the inside of my leg as well, in my groin area. So we'll do 2 more here. Deep breath in. Last one. Good. So how this looks from the other side is just like so. So I'm going to, again, be on the toes of my back foot, lead knee is in line with the lead hip. I'm going to grab onto my leg, taking a deep breath. I'm going to try to bring my knee as far over my foot as I can. I have more ankle range of motion here. I can feel that for myself. So instead of having my heel come up off the ground, I'm going to bring my foot forward a bit more and taking a deep breath again. Same thing, tight core, extended hip, deep breath in. Now I can get more of a stretch through my base leg as I do this. Coming back. 1 more. Good. That might be 5, that might not be 5. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be walking in circles if I don't do it even. So anyway, we're gonna go to the next stretch. So I'm gonna go over towards a wall, just like this. And what I'm gonna do is place my hands on the wall. I'm gonna walk my feet back, just like so. And then from here, I'm gonna go into a hinge position, just like this. So I'm gonna have my hips back into a position that's called a hinge, which means my shins are vertical. I'm getting a majority of my bending coming from my waist as I'm here. This is gonna be like your deadlift pattern. So while my hands on the wall, about just outside of shoulder width apart, I'm gonna go back into my hinge position. And then from here, I'm gonna think of dragging my hands down the wall to build tension. I'm gonna build that drag for and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, deep breath in, breathe out, and you'll get a little bit more range of motion. Then we're gonna relax there for a moment. And then again, same thing. Drag the hands down the wall, keeping the core nice and tight, going for 5, 4, drag the hands, 3, 2, deep breath in, breathe out, and relax. You'll probably get a great stretch for your upper back while you're doing this. And then we're gonna do one more time, dragging the hands down the wall again, building nice and tight core, as much tension as we can, going for 5, 4, 3, 2, deep breath in. Great. Awesome. So last thing for the day, we're gonna go back down to the ground. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stretch out our thighs a little bit more here. So we're either gonna go in rock pose, which is gonna be just like this, and we're just gonna hold this stretch for our thighs. If we wanna get more of a stretch from this position, I can also reach back to this position as well. And that's gonna give me more of a stretch on my quads or the front of my legs, my thighs. If I'd like more of a stretch, I can also bring my hips up into the air by squeezing my bum and keeping my core tight and just breathing from that position as well. If I'm unable to do this position or this position or this position, what I could also do is just revisit my grade 12 gym class and just do a good old-fashioned standing quad stretch where I'm holding on to my ankle, using a wall to help me support, bringing my heel to my bum and my knee underneath me as best I can, keeping, again, my core nice and tight, and just breathing here. You can go through a cycle of 3 to 5 breaths as you're doing this. Other side, same thing, so we're not walking in circles. If you want to challenge yourself with this one too, you can also not hold on to the wall. So just going like so. What'll help with your balance as well is to try and stare off into the distance and focus on one single point. So our balance is going to be predicated on vision. So the more I look around and try to see things, the harder it's going to be for me to maintain my balance. But if I stare and focus on one particular thing, it'll be much easier for me to hold my balance. That's the mobility routine for my homies at S5. So if you have any questions or you're feeling like things are a bit tighter in different areas or want me to continue to do something like this for you week over week until the season is over, happy to do it. Shoot me a message. Either way, stay moving, enjoy the time building your toys. I know I am. Can't wait for you guys to see it.